Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this ESOR special focus series webinar on sustainability in radiology, contrast agent management, this particular session. My name is Moreno Zanardo, and while I'm not Eileen Decker, who was originally scheduled to moderate today, I'm very happy to step in. Helene is currently in Osaka for activities related to Expo 2025 and unfortunately had conflicting commitments. I'm truly honored to guide you through today's session, which brings together leading voices and practical experience in sustainability and in radiology, with a specific focus on the environmental impact of contrast agents. As you know, it's an emerging and increasingly relevant topic for radiologists, radiographers, and all healthcare professionals alike. Before we begin, just a quick note on logistics. You are very welcome to submit your questions at any time using the Zoom chat, and we are collecting all questions. And do not hesitate, and all your inputs will be addressed at the end of this presentation for our final Q&A session at the end, of course. Now, let's start talking about the environmental impact of contrast agents. We will start talking about the ecotoxicological effects, and these courses address the environmental challenges of contrast agent use. And we will start talking about the context, talking about my insights from the GREENWATER study. And then we will have the MeGaDORE studies with another fantastic speaker that is Professor Dureyet Ben Salem from Brest, France, from the neuroradiology department. And then at the end, the Q&A session and the closing remarks by me. So we are perfectly on time, and we can start with the first presentation on eco-friendly imaging, managing contrast agents for a sustainable future. So in the next 15-20 minutes, we will cover different aspects of this important topic for the European Society of Radiology, the European Federation of Radiographer Societies, and all radiology societies that are talking about these important issues. Some disclosure: I am a member of the ESOR Sustainability Committee, and for personal disclosure, I am the Information Technology, Social Media and Environmental Sustainability Section Editor for European Radiology Experimental. I am also the Vice Chair of the European Federation of Radiographer Society Research Committee and the EFRS representative for the Sustainability Committee. You can see all the names of the Sustainability Committee. Sarah Sherd is the chairperson, and the other, you can see all the names published on the ESR website. Let's start with this important topic, because data shows that contrast agents are present in sewage water, surface water, and drinking water in many regions of the world. And you can see in this very important paper published very recently this year in European Radiology that sustainability in radiology, this position statement, all the major societies, and we need to start to reduce the environmental impact of radiology on the planetary health, because it's relevant and there is the need for change, and the time is now to plan all the action to prioritize efforts with the maximum impact. I published a very recent paper, a systematic review last year on European Radiology Experimental, where we discovered to assess that the environmental impact of energy consumption and carbon emission in radiology departments is very relevant because, healthcare is massive in terms of energy consumption, but also radiology department, the radiotherapy department, the interventional radiology services are very high in terms of substantial portion of the energy consumed. The majority are classified as non-productive, so devices that are on, are active, but not working. So patients are not scanned or there is no activity for the machines, MRI, CT, and also on. And the development teams resumed by that papers are on energy efficiency and decarbonization, digital innovation and smart monitoring, circular resource management, education and cultural changing. And with this webinar, we are focusing on, you can see with the arrow, the green arrow, it's on the reducing environmental impact of contrast media and biomedical waste. So this is the main focus of these episodes, of this 60 minutes of webinar. I will talk very briefly on the Green ID initiative. Is developed by the European Society of Radiology Sustainability Subcommittee to recognize the imaging departments worldwide. And in this way, the Green ID is central to achieve the sustainability goal to practice across departments in Europe. The Green ID you can apply since 2 months, and you can, for free, download the official Green ID application form. You can use the QR code, or you can go on myesr.org and the Green ID. And there are 9 domains, and you can use obviously the checklist, and you need to collect a lot of data. But with this webinar, we can start talking about the first domain, that is education and training. And one of the first items is that the staff members have attended or watched the sustainability session at the ECR meetings or the ESOR courses. So this episode is one of the webinar series. So with this webinar, you have the first item checked. So feel free to suggest to your colleague, to your staff members to watch the episodes, watch the webinar, collect all of the webinar, and are all stored in the website. So feel free to review all sessions. So, and the second domain with this webinar can you collect is that an in-depth assessment of contrast media and water usage, because contrast media, we will talk on contrast media, iodine, gadolinium, and you need to apply for posters displaying the department for the sustainable water used by the employee. And the second part is on the correct and proper management of the disposal of the bottles, for example, of contrast media, iodine, and you need to have different approaches to the waste management of contrast media. And cited by the original moderator of this webinar, that is Professor Decker. She published a fantastic review on insights into imaging, and the first one on strategy to reduce the contamination of the water environment by gadolinium-based contrast agents. And the second one is on tackling the increasing contamination by iodinated contrast media. So, very quick take-home messages for these 2 fantastic educational reviews, that contrast media can constitute an increasing in terms of environmental risk, and contrast media can contaminate sources for drinking water in many places worldwide. And the second very important take-home message is that health professionals radiologists, radiographer, nurses, all together have an opportunity to reduce the use of contrast media. And all of us can lead to a way to initiating measures like reduce, optimize, perform it more efficiency. And this is the starting point. In terms of optimization of the contrast agent dose, all departments need to adjust the contrast media dose depending on the individual patient weight or clinical indication. I recently published a randomized control trial on science into imaging in order to adjust the volume of the contrast agent, the iodinated contrast agent, in terms of, for example, abdominal CT. And this is a preview of what we will heard in the next presentation by Professor Durayed Ben Salem. It's a fantastic study on MeGadoRe, and no spoilers, so we will see in the next presentation. And also to the dedicated contrast media recovery using a spatial toilet filtration system. Again, also in the next presentation, we will have some suggestion about these new devices. And I used the canisters for the urine collection in my study, the GREENWATER. So we will see how to involve patients in the contrast media recovery. So another presentation on contrast media in wastewater. We found the presence of contrast media in surface water, groundwater, and even in drinking water. So this is one of the first paper highlights in this new topic. And you can see in this systematic review all papers that are reporting the presence of gadolinium in as a new emerging contaminant of aquatic environments. You can see a lot of papers since I think 2000. Yes, the first paper was on Japanese river, the Tokyo Bay, and you can see all references in this slide. So, two questions. Are the increasing amounts of gadolinium surface and tap water dangerous? And the gadolinium in tap water, it's an increase in terms of amount and quantity. We will see in a very recent paper that I revised for European Radiology Experimental, that is the anthropogenic gadolinium in the Ton River. There is an increase in terms of years from 1996 to 2020. So they collect a lot of data from one of the most famous river in Japan, that is the Ton River, and very close to the hospital, there is a very increase in terms of concentration of gadolinium. Another topic is that in the major radiological societies, they are trying to find strategies for conserving contrast material because, as you can see in the New England Journal of Medicine during COVID, there is a critical shortage of iodinated contrast materials. So some topics are very relevant for the optimization of the contrast media. And we can start with the GREENWATER study protocol. We published it on 2023 in European Radiology Experimental. This is the study protocol where we described all the methods of this important study. And this study received an unconditional grant by Bracco Imaging. And we had two specific aims. The first one is the green sensitivity. So we would like to assess if our patients are willing to stay up to 1 hour in our radiology department to allow us to collect urines containing contrast agents that otherwise have been discarded in the environmental. So we talk to our patient, explain the process, and we don't know if they are interested in a sustainability process, in a sustainability project. And the second aim, to investigate the potential reduction of contrast agents residual in wastewater based only on the first urinary extraction after the contrast agent administration. So, two aims. So the very short methodology on the contrast media, obviously the ethics committee approved the study protocol, and we started in 2023 to the patient enrollment. We enrolled only 18 years old either, and it's a prospective study, monocentric, conducted in Policlinico San Donato, one of the major hospital, cardiac-based hospital in Milan. It's in the north of Italy, and the observation time extended by 15-20 minutes after the contrast agents injection to 1 hour, so 60 minutes after the injection. And the urine samples stored in our biobank are collected using DET canisters, and it's 2 liters canisters. And you can see the analysis by an external lab for the all chemical analysis. The urine analysis are whole centrifugated with the semi-solid residue, so very complex analysis. And we published this year the full paper on European radiology, and it's called the GREENWATER study, patient's green sensitivity and potential recovery of injected contrast agents. So both iodine and gadolinium are collected. I really like to start talking about the 455 stories. You can download the full paper using this QR code, and 455 patients are enrolled, but only 422 are available to stay up to 1 hour to provide their urine after the CT or MR. And we started and we completed the enrollment, and then we can say that 93% of our patients are willing to involved in a sustainability project from 18 years old to 96 years old. And the contrast agent we enrolled, as said before, more than 200 patients with iodine and more than 200 patients with gadolinium-based contrast agent, so perfectly balanced. And the observation time is from 4 minutes to more than 2 hours, and this is very important in the graph that we will see in the next 2 or 3 slides, and the volume is very different from 25 milliliters to more than 1 liter. You can see, starting from 455, 33 excluded, and we enrolled 422 consecutive patients. We can see the main reason for the exclusion. I don't have time, the most common. I'm not up for it. I'm discomfort with the canisters. I have to see my grandchildren. I don't feel like it. And unfortunately, also something troubling with the COVID, the healthcare personnel. So I don't want to do it and I'm not interested. So only 7%. And you can see the most important graph, because this is the contrast recovery. You can see the box plot on the left for the gadolinium and for iodine. And the chemical analysis show that up to 50% of iodine can be recovered, while for the gadolinium it's only 13%. And most important, the only patient who waited up to 2 hours, we can recover 100% of all gadolinium that we injected. This is very important data because, as you can see in this graph, with the observation time, so more than you wait, more we can recover. So this is important to the message for our patients because both for gadolinium to iodine, if we wait 2 hours, we can recover more than double of our injected gadolinium, and the iodine, it's a different pattern, but you can see it's on a different scale, but if we wait 2 hours, we can recover also again 100%, but we reach the 100% in 50 minutes, 1 hour, 50 minutes. For the patient age is an inverse, and you can see older patient, we can recover less contrast agent. So the ideal patient is young and that can wait up to 2 hours. So we have obviously some study limitation because we don't know water recovery rate could have been obtained asking to wait more than 1 hour. So, it's an increasing pattern. So we can wait, but we don't want to ask to our patient to wait 2 hours. Otherwise, the accepting rate will decrease. So we don't have the it is 93% of patients' green sensitivity. We can have potential measurement errors related to the analytical methods used, or we have a specific context that probably increased the acceptance rate because we have a dedicated healthcare personnel that are talking to patients, trying to convince them to collect the urine into the canister and explain the reason behind we are asking to stay up to 1 hour in the radiology department in the waiting room. So maybe we have some co-funding factors, but I think that this is a good starting point. So in conclusion, for the GREENWATER study, we obtained 93% of patients staying in our department up to 60 minutes, and we can collect 50% of iodinated contrast agents or 13% of gadolinium-based contrast agents. And the healthcare services have an important role for the environmental responsibilities, and it's very important for ecological footprint in diagnostic imaging. So we are starting the GREENWATER 2.0 with a dedicated collector device, but this talk is for the next presentation, and we will start by the end of October 25, so next month. Another topic very relevant for me is the potential role of AI for a sustainable radiology. You can see a very recent paper that we published last year with the EuroAIM and the USOMI Society on Insights into Imaging. Again, also with the QR code, you can download the paper. And we try to understand the potential AI role on radiology. And one domain, it's also digital technologies, AI, telemedicine, and remote collaboration that may have an important impact also for a sustainable radiology. So expanding teleconsultation, remote reporting, we can decrease unnecessary travel for patients and professionals, reducing the overall environmental footprint of healthcare. And what about the new MR sequences or new MR protocol optimization to reduce the acquisition time with the equal imaging and to reduce the acquisition time, we can save time, we can reduce energy, we can acquire more patients and reduce the overall cost for energy, for personnel, and other things. So AI in the future may have an important impact also for sustainability. And very last part, talking about the journey toward the sustainable imaging, the certification for the application form, you can download again in the green ID, and you can see all the 9 domains of sustainability, education and training, department sustainability working group, energy consumption, waste management, contrast media, it's one domain, the 5th domain, audit and governance, clinical decision support, procurement and consumables, and travel and transportation. Again, I'm very happy that me as radiology department at Galeazzi Hospital in Milan, we obtained 5 leaves for the Green IDE certification scheme. And I will say that it's teamwork. So we needed to build a multidisciplinary teamwork for sustainability, and a lot of people are involved in the GREENWATER study. And again, you can see also the other hospital, the GREENWATER 2.0 study team, when we will start in the next month, and also with all the collaboration is essential for a green radiology department. So I would like to say thank you to all my collaborators, to the sustainability subcommittee, and all activities that need to be done for obtain a Green ID certification scheme, and more important, a more green radiology department. So I hope that you enjoyed this talk, and we will have some questions at the end of the presentation. Now, let's talk. Let me interrupt my my screen sharing. It's a very big pleasure for me to introduce Professor Doureyed Ben Salem from Brest, France, the Neuroradiology Department. All good?
Hello.
You enjoyed?
Thank you very much, Moreno. I will talk about the MeGadoRe experience and how we begin the journey.
Perfect. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So the first person in the world who discovered the gadolinium in the GBCA in the river was Professor Michael Bao from Germany. It was in 1996 already, and he discovered that there is something he didn't know. It was gadolinium in the beginning in all the river in Germany. With his colleague Dulski, they thought that this anomaly, this artifact, was related to the makeup of the assistant of the lab. And then during a coffee break in the home of Dulski, Dulski has an MRI scheduled next week, and he bought the gadolinium syringe and it was put on the table. And the boy of Dulski took this box and was playing with it. And then his father took the GBCA box and read. He found that it is gadolinium, and then they said, okay, so this artifact is related to the gadolinium, who is injected in the patient, and at the end goes to the urine and then to the river. As Moreno told you already, the increase of the anthropogenic gadolinium in the river is expanding. This article is from 2016 in San Francisco Bay, and you can see the amount of gadolinium in the water. And here in the Tone River, it has increased by 7.7-fold during less than 10 years. We found this anomaly also in breast, in the great scallop shell. We have sample every year. They took sample from the same place in the breast B, and we analyze the shell of the great scallop, and we find the gadolinium increasing until almost 2005, and then there is a decrease, and we think that this decrease is related to the fact that the linear GBCA has been stopped, and radiologists did not inject anymore the GBCA from the first generation. You can also find pollution in this in the Mytilus. This is in Norway, in the south of Norway. There is a factory who produces GBCA, and in the shell of the Mytilus, you found the gadolinium anomaly here. Whereas in another factory, not producing GBCA, you don't find gadolinium in the shellfish. So this GBCA, and at the end, it is not treated by the sewage treatment. It goes to the water, and then it finished in the tap water. So in this article by Souza from Brazil, they found that the macrocyclic GBCA are highly bioaccessible, and they took the worst scenario. In the words, someone living in Berlin and drinking 2 liters of water every day. If we have a lifespan of 70 years, at the end, he could eat or take almost 5,000 microgram of gadolinium. This scenario is only with the gadolinium in the tap water, but you need to add the gadolinium in the food. So this amount is we can say the minimum. I don't know if you already see this when we ask people not to throw their cigarette here. So it's written here, begin the ocean, but we can say that when you inject the GBCA, and then the urine goes to the water and goes to the tap water at the end. So how can we solve this problem? In a study we performed many years ago, we found that 50% of the GBCA was not used in France and was thrown away. It depends on the city, depends on the country, but it's at least 10% of the GBCA at the end of the day or for each patient, if you don't use the multi-patient injector, you have almost 1 milliliter left each time or at the end of the day. So we said, why not to recover this GBCA? Is it for economic reason? We will see if it is economic. It's for environmental reason and for ethical reason. Why? Because the gadolinium comes from mainly from China. There is no rare earth element in Europe. It's toxic when it is not chelated. This is the production in China and in the rest of the world. And when you produce the gadolinium, you need a lot of water. And this water at the end will be contaminated with radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. And this uranium and thorium will be thrown away and will contaminate the area near the mining place. And you will also produce a lot of and need a lot of hydrochloric acid during the process. So we said, let's recover this GBCA and begin. In the beginning, we wanted to do the experience only in Brittany, a small region of France. But when we presented this initiative in our National Congress in Paris, everyone wants to get his bottle to fill it with GBCA. So MeGadoRe is for medical gadolinium recycling. We are a group of university laboratories, and there is industrial patrons who help for this university share. And it was the first medical gadolinium recovery network in the world. And then followed the next year after with Bayer with the recontrast. We have almost 50% of the French MRI fleet participate in MeGadoRe. And this is a photo from an MRI in the city of Monaco. And we have the hospital and the private sector of Monaco. So we have 80% of the MR fleet of Monaco. Today, we have 1 ton, 1,000 kilogram of GBCA here in the tank. And we are working with a PhD student in chemistry. She began her PhD thesis last year, and she worked on the dechelation process of this GBCA. So the small question, is it economic? Is it do you win money if you recover your contrast media? So in this year, 10 milliliter of GBCA, I don't know in your country how much it cost. Here in France, it cost almost 26.5 euro. So the idea, how much money do you have here if you take the price of the GBCA? In fact, it's not the GBCA that you are going to reuse. So you are going to reuse the salt of gadolinium. So if you talk about the salt of gadolinium, 1 kilo of gadolinium is almost 50 euro. And in this, if you have 1,000 kilogram liter of GBCA, at the end there is only 77 kilogram of GBCA, pure GBCA. So if you calculate the price of this, the real price is only 3,700 euro, and it's not 2 million point 3 euro. So why it is important? This is the first step. You recover the unused GBCA, the GBCA that is not in the human body. The other part of the GBCA is already in the human body and goes to the urine, and it finishes its course in the tap water. This is a study from Germany in 2019, where they found the anthropic gadolinium in the Coca-Cola of the fast food in all Germany, in 6 major cities in Germany. And the Coca-Cola, the amount of gadolinium in the Coca-Cola that you buy in the fast food is the same that the amount of anthropogenic gadolinium in the tap water of this city, because the Coca-Cola in the fast food is made with the tap water. In a recent study we have submitted this month, we found that Berlin and Amsterdam has the worst amount of anthropogenic gadolinium in tap water in the world. And then far away, with 50% less, you find London, and then Budapest, and then Paris. While the gadolinium in the tap water of the USA and Asia, China, Japan, has the lowest amount of GBCA, of gadolinium. So it's interesting to see that old cities, old European cities like Berlin, Amsterdam, Paris, London, Budapest, there is a problem in the way they treat the water, because we find a lot of gadolinium in it. You can find also gadolinium in the drinking soft drink like Red Bull. This is the anomaly of gadolinium. Or in some beers, this one is the Sagres beer from Portugal. And there is a big amount of trace of gadolinium. This is the comparison with the different beers. The Sagres one is here. This is beer from France, the east of France, La Chouffe. This Asahi is a Japanese beer. So the idea is to ask people, like Moreno say, to stay 1 hour after a CT or after an MRI and to filter their urine with this kind of toilet. You can recover a maximum of 15% of GBCA after 1 hour, and a maximum of 40% of the iodine contrast media. According to the study presented by Moreno Zanardo, published in European Radiology. So we got a grant from the Brittany region to buy this toilet, and you have the filter. The filter is here on the left, and we asked people to pee here, and the toilet will separate urine from non-urine stuff. And then when the cartridge is full, we change it, and the society is called Zero from Netherlands will recover this cartridge and recycle it and give it again to us. We called our toilet Vespasiu. Why Vespasiu? Because Vespa is the name of the Roman emperor in 60 year after Jesus Christ. He said, "Okay, I don't like the odor of Roma in the town, in the street, because people they don't have a public toilet. So he made public toilet mandatory for everyone, and the collected urine was sold to dyers who use the ammonia present in the urine for tanning hides. And the emperor, who wants money, he took a tax on the urine collection. And they said that someone from his family, maybe his son, said to him, now our family name is related to the toilet, to the urine, so it's not very nice. And he said, pecunia non olet, which in Italiano it's dinaro non ha odore. So money don't have smell, because you know the urine is very strong, has a strong odor, but he wants the money, he wants the tax. So I called him the green imperator Romano. Vespasiano. And Ziu is in Britain, Previsiu, Shu means toilet. So this is the contract name of Previsiu. It's in our region in Brittany, we said Previsiu for toilet. So if you have a question, I'd be happy to answer with Moreno. And another way to reduce the contrast media agent for the gadolinium, we talk about the intelligence, artificial intelligence. The other way may be also the gadolinium from the third generation, like the gadopiclenol, because you will inject less than half of the dose of the normal dose. So you will extract less gadolinium from the mining area, and the person will put in his urine only half of the gadolinium, because you inject half of the gadolinium amount to get the same result. So it is also a solution. Of course, it's more expensive because it's a new gadolinium. So what we do in our department, we have a small percentage of patient who had this gadolinium of third generation. We select young patient with chronic illness, and we give them, because they will have repeated, they will get repeated MRI with injection, and we prefer to reduce the amount of gadolinium they get in their body, and so we pollute the environment less. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic, fantastic talk. And you speak Italian? Yeah, very well. You cite Imperatore Vespasiano.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, a lot of questions from the audience. Considering that we have only 10 minutes, I will reply very quickly to the first question, and then I have some question for Duried in the second part of the Q&A session. So the first one is, What was the GADO-based contrast agents in the GREENWATER study? We enrolled all patients independently by the gadolinium-based contrast agents that we injected. So all GADO that we used in our department. It doesn't matter. We found and selected the chemical data from the gadolinium that we injected. The second one, our patients were not healthy because they had an indication for CT or MR, so they have something to be addressed. And we collected all data, also considering the glomerular filtration rate, the creatinine. So you can see all this data in the full paper published on European Radiology. But the overall general status was quite good. And if possible, to use gadolinium in CT scans. In some case, for example, in photon counting CT, we can adapt, use some filters. So they're not so interchangeable, but you can acquire in some specific case. And can really we use gadolinium CT scan? Again, same. The toilet can filter iodine and GADO at the same time?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
this is the answer.
Yeah,
Perfect. And there is some questions for Durayed.
yeah.
The first one. It is dangerous for our health to drink tap water, or as you can see in your presentation, even beer contaminated with gadolinium.
No, I don't think there is a problem. Maybe it's the chronic exposure to the GBCA during a long period. We don't know because this in the tap water you can find two type of gadolinium. You find the microcyclic gadolinium, so it is still chelated, and then you find the n-chelated gadolinium. So the n-chelated gadolinium is more toxic than the chelated gadolinium. When you drink water, it depends if you drink water during your meal or after the meal, because the pH of your stomach will decrease from 5 to 2 during the when you get a meal in the stomach. So we think that when you have a pH of 2, which is acid, it maybe it can dechelate the GBCA in the tap water. So you will, at the end, your body will take the gadolinium because the ionic diameter of the gadolinium is like the calcium, the same thing. So your body think that the gadolinium is calcium, and he will take it and put it in your bone. The first study about the gadolinium retention was in 2005 in the femur. It was in the bone, but okay, gadolinium in the bone, nobody cares. But after, when we found the gadolinium in the brain, so we said, okay, let's now think about. So I don't think it is a problem, uh, but we need more study to see the chronic exposition to, with a long period, to this gadolinium that you drink, and that may go to your inside your body.
Perfect. Yeah, completely understand and completely agree with you. And one of the major challenges we face in sustainable contrast agents management is the patient engagement. So another topic, and they asked that how can we effectively motivate patients to stay in the hospital longer after a CT or a MR to collect their urine using
Yeah,
the dedicated toilet or the canister?
yeah. Yes. So if you have a rich hospital, you can ask the hospital to pay the parking ticket of the patient. If the patient stay 1 hour and give his urine, he will get a free ticket for his parking for his car. Another option is to negotiate with the coffee shop of the hospital inside the hospital and ask them to give 5 hot drink, tea or coffee, one in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, to people who are the first to give to participate, the first to giving their urine. The 5 first patient will get free coffee, and then the other one you have to think to come to ask before. But it's also solution. We are now discussing with the coffee shop of our hospital to get this coffee, and I think it will motivate patient. I have a question for you, Moreno. Is do you think coffee
Yes,
or
please.
tea is better for to make people go to the toilet fast, or I don't know, tea or coffee?
I think tea. When I drink
Tea.
tea, I lot of urine in 1 or 2 hours. However, exactly, and maybe another idea also of the parking or the free coffee can be also the I don't know, it's it possible the instant report, the radiological report of their
Ah,
examination, so we
okay.
can discuss with the
Okay, VIP,
radiologist in
VIP
charge.
person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get a ticket,
Exactly, yeah.
VIP.
So can be
Okay.
a fantastic solution.
Yeah.
And other question from the audience is that what strategies can help strike a balance between the diagnostic quality through, you know, the contrast media that the contrast agent those needed to be quantified perfectly and the impact of reducing the injection of gadolinium or iodine for the environmental impact.
So there is a study performed and validated with the lean weight of the person. So the person you subtract the fat from his weight, and then you inject only with the lean weight of the patient without the weight of his fat. So you can reduce the amount of 50% milliliter of iodine contrast media. And for the GBCA, it's still work in progress. Some people from Holland are working on injection of the GBCA according to the lean weight. So this is an option.
Perfect. So we have still time because I see that the 1 hour time slot is end, but we can reply to a lot of questions that arrived from the audience in 5 minutes. I see that Maron, thank for your question. Is there any chance of infective disease spread by recycled ZBCA? So I think not. It's not possible up
No.
to now to reinject
Yes.
the same contrast media recovered from the urine.
Yes.
So no any chance.
Yes.
And I think it's for you by Isabella. Do you have any information about the water in Romania and the gadolinium in it? I don't know. We can't
uh,
assess
uh,
all Europe,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Maybe just for it's not a joke, but we have the water from the capital, so we will know how Trump's water is, how much gadolinium there is in the capital water in Washington D.C. But we when the article will be online, we will put it free so everyone can check in his town. We have at least 70 megapole from all around the world. So you need to wait for
We
Romania.
need to wait. Perfect. Another question from Costanza, and she asked the EMA, so the European Medicine Agency, make the collection of urine mandatory of all exams. So, you know it's possible?
It has a cost. I think Eileen Dickerly said that it's 3.5 euro the urine bag. So
So,
if you want to collect and give it to the people, and then they put the urine in their house, you need a budget.
mhm. So we need to manage the cost effectiveness of the collection of
Yeah.
the urine. And another question, did you observe any patterns in patient refusal? For example, the common reasons why patients decline to participate in the urine collection?
Um, in Italy, you in Milano, you got a very good adherence and participation. Um, we send when the patient get his rendezvous, there is a letter explaining why he needs to stay. In the waiting room, also, there is information. We will put the article on tap water, gadolinium on tap water, but I don't. It's the reason you already said that I don't have time, or I need to go to see my little son.
Yeah, okay.
Um, Old people, they have time. Young people, they are maybe more sensitive to the environmental problem.
Perfect. Completely agree. So I think we end the questions relevant for this webinar. So maybe I can share again my screen because I have my very last slide. And my last slide is on the next episodes of the ESOR on the green certification and the ESR green ID. So what I very briefly presented will be introduced by Sarah Sherd, the ESR Sustainability Committee Chair, Michael Jackson, Andrea Sirlik. So fantastic team for the next webinar that will be on air on the next 17th of November, same time and same structure. So I would like to thank all of you that attended this webinar. Obviously, thanks also to Dureyet Ben Salem from France. It's Moreno Zanardo from Italy, and thank also to the ESOR technical team for their support, fantastic support, for the questions from the audience, and thank you also to the ESR Sustainability Committee for organize and provide all these fantastic episodes. So thank you again, and let's green all the radiology department. Thank you, and
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Moreno. Thank you.
See you next.